They say love is blind. In my case, that was literally true for 3 months. And let me tell you, darkness has a way of revealing the true nature of the people around you. When you can't see their faces, you learn to listen to their tone, their footsteps, and the silence they leave behind. My name is Ethan. I'm 38. Before the accident, I was a high-functioning workaholic. I ran a private equity firm. I drove fast cars. I had a trophy house in the hills, and a wife, Monica, who looked like she stepped out of a Vogue catalog. We had been married for 5 years. I thought we were happy. Sure, I worked too much and she spent too much, but that was the deal, right? I provided the lifestyle. She provided the beauty and the social grace. Then came the crash. A drunk driver T-boned my Tesla on the highway. I woke up in the ICU with broken ribs, a shattered leg, and, terrifyingly, total darkness. The doctors called it cortical blindness, trauma to the visual cortex. They said it might be temporary as the swelling went down, or it might be permanent. There was no way to know. For the first month, Monica was an angel. She was there every day, holding my hand, feeding me ice chips, reading me emails. Everyone told me how lucky I was. She's a saint, Ethan, my mother told me. She hasn't left your side. When I was discharged, I went home to a world I couldn't see. I felt helpless. I relied on Monica for everything, getting to the bathroom, eating, getting dressed. I felt like a burden. And that's when the shift happened. The angel started to get annoyed. The saint started to sigh heavily when I asked for water. And then David started coming over. David was my personal financial advisor, my friend. He came over to help me manage the business while I was incapacitated. "We need to sign some checks, Ethan," he would say. "Just sign where I guide your hand." "Monica is overwhelmed, Ethan," he would say. "I'm just here to help her carry the load." I was grateful. I was blind and pathetic, and they were saving me. Or so I thought. Part 2. The Flicker. It happened on a Tuesday morning. I was sitting on the patio, listening to the birds. Suddenly a flash of white light pierced the darkness. Then a blur of green. Then, for a split second, I saw the outline of the pool. It hurt my head, but it was there. My vision was rebooting. I blinked rapidly. The fog cleared for a moment, then returned. I was about to shout, "Monica, I can see!" But something stopped me. A sound from inside the house. The patio doors were open. I heard Monica's voice. It wasn't the soft, nursing voice she used with me. It was sharp, excited. "He's sitting out there like a potted plant, David. It's depressing." Then David's voice. "Just a few more weeks, babe. Once the power of attorney is fully executed, we can put him in that specialized facility in Arizona. The one with the long-term care unit." "God, I can't wait," Monica laughed. "I need a vacation. And I need that liquid cash. Did you transfer the funds from the Cayman account?" "Done." He signed the authorization yesterday thinking it was a medical release form. I froze. The light in my eyes flickered again, and this time the image held. I looked through the glass doors. I saw my wife. She was wearing a silk robe I bought her. I saw David. He was wearing my bathrobe. They were standing in my kitchen, drinking my vintage wine at 11 a.m. David walked over to her and kissed her. It wasn't a friendly peck. It was the kiss of two people who had been together for a long time. "He has no idea," David whispered against her neck. "He's blind as a bat," she giggled. Poor thing. I sat there, gripping the armrests of my wheelchair, until my knuckles turned white. I could see. I could see everything. But if I told them right now, what would happen? They had the power of attorney. They had my accounts. They could claim I was mentally unstable from the brain injury. I closed my eyes. I took a deep breath, and I decided to stay in the dark a little longer. Part 3. The Performance. The next 2 weeks were the hardest acting gig of my life. I had to pretend to be helpless while watching my wife and my best friend dismantle my life right in front of my face. I saw them roll their eyes when I spoke. I saw them texting each other across the dinner table while I ate messily, pretending I couldn't find my fork. I saw David wearing my watches. I saw Monica trying on jewelry she had bought with money siphoned from my business account. But being blind gave me a superpower: invisibility. They stopped hiding things. They left laptops open. They left documents on the counter. When they thought I was napping, I was memorizing passwords they typed. When they thought I was listening to audiobooks, I was actually recording their conversations on my phone, which I kept hidden in my pocket. I gathered the evidence. The embezzlement. David was systematically draining my company's operating capital into a shell corporation called Mondav Holdings. Creative name, right? The facility. I found the brochure for the care home they planned to dump me in. It wasn't a luxury rehab. It was a budget state facility where people were medicated into oblivion. The adultery. Well, let's just say I saw things in my own living room that no husband should ever have to see. The end game was set for Friday. Friday was when the notary was coming. They needed me to sign one final document, an irrevocable trust transfer that would move the deed of the house and the remaining equity into Monica's name for safekeeping. After that signature, I would be destitute and homeless. Part 4. The Trap. Thursday night, while they were asleep in the guest room together, I quietly got out of bed. I could walk now. My leg had healed enough. I went to my study. I located the hidden safe behind the painting. Monica didn't know the combination. Only I did. I opened it. I took out my original will, my passport, and a hard drive containing my separate, pre-marital crypto keys that David didn't know existed. I also took out a small, high-definition camera. I set it up on the bookshelf, hidden between the encyclopedias, pointing directly at the desk where the signing would happen. Then I went to my computer. I logged into the bank accounts. Because I could see the screen now, I could bypass the accessibility features they thought I was using. I saw the pending transfers scheduled for Friday afternoon. I canceled them. Then I initiated a new transfer. I moved every single cent of liquid capital, about $4.5 million, into a secure escrow account controlled by my corporate attorney, a man named Saul, who hated David. I sent Saul an email. I can see. They are stealing everything. Come to the house tomorrow at 2 p.m. with the police. Do not call me. Just show up. Part 5. The Signature. Friday, 1 to 1 p.m. The notary arrived. A nervous little man who clearly didn't know he was part of a scam. Monica guided me to the desk. "Okay, honey," she cooed, stroking my hair. "This is just the final insurance paperwork. It secures your medical care for the next 10 years. David and I worked so hard on this." "You're so good to me," I said, staring blankly ahead, focusing my eyes on a spot on the wall, even though I could see her smirking at David over my head. "Here's the pen," David said, placing it in my hand. "Just sign on the X." I held the pen. My hand hovered over the paper. "David," I asked, my voice shaky, "is this the document that transfers the house to Monica?" David froze. "No, Ethan. Why would you think that? It's insurance." "Are you sure?" I asked. "Because it feels thick." It's standard boilerplate, Monica snapped, losing patience. Just sign it, Ethan. I have a spa appointment at 3. Right, I said. The spa. I leaned forward. I looked down at the paper. Then, slowly, deliberately, I looked up. I looked directly into Monica's eyes. My pupils constricted in the light. I tracked her movement as she shifted uncomfortably. Monica, I said, my voice dropping the invalid act completely. You have a piece of spinach in your teeth. The silence in the room was absolute. Monica's hand went to her mouth instinctively. Then she froze. Her eyes went wide. David stepped back. Ethan? And David? I turned my head and locked eyes with him. That's my Rolex Daytona. Take it off. You have small wrists. It looks ridiculous on you. You can see? Monica whispered, her face draining of color. For 2 weeks, I smiled. I saw you transfer the funds. I saw you plan the nursing home. I saw you screwing him on my Italian leather sofa, which, by the way, you'll need to have professionally cleaned before I sell it. David lunged for the papers on the desk. He's delirious. Sign the papers. I grabbed David's wrist. My grip was strong. I had been doing rehab exercises in secret. The papers are worthless, Dave. And so are you. Part 6. The knock right on cue. 2 p.m. A heavy pounding on the front door. Police, open up! Monica screamed. David tried to run toward the back door, but I stuck my cane out, the one I supposedly needed, and tripped him. He went down hard. My lawyer, Saul, walked in with 2 officers. Ethan, Saul nodded. I got your email, and the logs. Officer, I pointed at David, who was scrambling to get up. That man is currently attempting to embezzle millions from my estate. I have the wire transfer logs, the audio recordings of conspiracy to commit fraud, and video evidence of them forging my signature on previous documents. Monica tried the waterworks. Officers, he's brain damaged. He doesn't know what he's saying. I'm his wife. I stood up, fully upright. I walked over to the bookshelf and pulled out the hidden camera. This has been recording for 24 hours, I said. It has audio of you 2 discussing how to overdose me with sedatives if I became too much trouble at the nursing home. That was the nail in the coffin. Conspiracy to commit harm. Part 7. The view from the top. They were escorted out in handcuffs. Monica looked back at me, mascara running down her face, begging, Ethan, please, I was scared. I didn't mean it. I know, I said. Love is blind, Monica. But justice? Justice sees everything. The divorce was swift. With the evidence of infidelity and financial fraud, the prenup was ironclad. And because of her criminal actions, she violated the morality clause of the estate. She got nothing. David is facing 10 years for embezzlement and elder disability abuse, a charge the DA tacked on because I was technically disabled at the time. I kept the house. I kept the money. But I made some changes. I fired my entire domestic staff. They knew and didn't tell me. I renovated the living room, burned that sofa, and I started a foundation for people with traumatic brain injuries. I still have headaches sometimes. My vision gets blurry when I'm tired. But I've never seen the world more clearly than I do right now. I'm currently sitting on my patio, watching the sunset. I'm alone, and it's peaceful. I poured a glass of that vintage wine David tried to steal. It tastes like victory. So, if you ever feel like you're being kept in the dark, listen closely. The truth is always there. You just have to open your eyes at the right moment.